Hey guys, welcome back. Those are A10s. Probably can't hear them. But anyway, so today I want to talk about something that a lot of folks that are new to rifles in particular for self-defense or shiz and it hits the fan, we're going to talk about a piece of kit that a lot of folks sometimes overlook. And I think partly it's our responsibility in the 2A community, people like myself, content creators, people that write articles, and people that do education, things like that, training. And they will talk about that in training courses. I've seen it done. But there's certain pieces of kit that people overlook. One perfect example is the sling, but that's not what today's video is about. A sling is a critical part to any rifle that's being used for serious applications. And people oftentimes overlook that. They don't even buy a sling. And so it's little things like that. The little thing we want to talk about in today's video, though, is a cleaning kit. As boring as that sounds, today's video is important because we're going to talk about the multiple uses of a good cleaning kit and why it's important to have one outside of the obvious reasons like cleaning your rifle. It can also help you in a sticky situation where you have a stuck case in the chamber. So we're going to talk about the cleaning kit, ways you can store the cleaning kit, because things have changed over time. And then we're going to talk about another handy little tool really quickly that's useful for potentially clearing stuck cases, but isn't an end-all be-all solution. So we're going to talk all about that in today's video. So let's get started talking about cleaning kits and why they're so important to have in your kit. A lot of folks ask me, how can I get involved in the firearms business in that particular community? And one of the best ways to do that is to become a gunsmith. Every gunsmith I know is just overbooked with work. It's a very good living. And so if you would like to become a gunsmith, you need to go to a gunsmithing school or become an apprentice for an existing gunsmith. But Modern Gun School is an accredited college that also works with veterans in the GI Bill, where you can go and get a degree from accredited college in gunsmithing and then go out and start your own gunsmithing business, which I think is a really great option. Again, throughout my entire life, gunsmiths have always been able to earn a really good living, assuming they have a really strong work ethic. So please check out Modern Gun School. I do have a link in the video description below. So when I opened up the video, I talked about some of the uses for the cleaning kit. Obviously, cleaning your weapon, but also it can be useful in clearing a malfunction from the weapon, a specific type of malfunction. And that would be a stuck case. And yes, it does happen. It's happened to me many times in my life. I've been shooting, gosh, since I was a kid, and I've had more stuck cases than I can count. And I do want to talk about how to get a stuck case that has a case head separation, leaving brass in the chamber. We'll quickly talk about how to clear that malfunction too with your cleaning kit. All right, so when I was a much younger man, rifles like this would be a rifle that I would use, and this is the A2. The A1 had just gone out of style in the mid-'80s, and the A2 was coming online, but the A2 maintained something that the A1 had, and that was a cleaning kit in the buttstock. And so if you've ever wondered what this little trap door here is in the back, and a lot of U.S. military rifles have this trap door, not just the M16, but inside the buttstock, we had cleaning kits back in the day. And so you could just pop your buttstock trap door open, get your cleaning kit out very quickly, but you would still have to assemble the kit, the rod specifically, if you wanted to get a case unstuck. And this one's brand spanking new. Never had it out. All right, so to get a case out of the chamber, you just have to put a couple segments together. Now keep in mind, this is a 20-inch barreled AR, but you know, with the M4 with a 14.5-inch barrel, you wouldn't need as many segments put together. But this very quickly would be all you need to get the stuck case out. But if you have more time, you can put the T-handle on it so you can draw it back out and bang it. But let me just do a quick demonstration here really quick. I'll put a spent case in the chamber. All right, it's just gonna fall right out because I didn't. Oh no, it is stuck. All right, cool. All right, so I pinched the neck of the case a little bit, so it's a little bit stuck in there. So here's an example of I can't pull a charging handle with the rear. The extractor is over the rim of the case. Now, there's a couple of ways I can get this case unstuck. So first of all, with the bolt closed, running a cleaning rod down the barrel isn't going to help me. Okay, that's only going to help if I've already ripped the rim off the case and the bolt, I'm able to retract it to the rear and the case is still stuck in there, but it still has its head attached. The head hasn't come off, just the rim. That means the case is still solid and I can run a cleaning rod down the barrel. But in this instance, this is where you have the case stuck in the chamber, the bolt's home, and it's stuck. So what can you do? The first practical thing to do is what we call mortaring, okay? You're just going to take a knee, get to the ground, and you're just going to tap the rifle on the ground while pulling down on the T-handle, on the charging handle. You're just going to pull down and tap it, and that stuck case will come right out. But you can still have a problem. In doing that, you can rip the rim off the case. Now you have a different problem. And so now if the case is ripped off, the rim is ripped off the case, now the bolt will come to the rear because it has nothing to grab onto. It's already ripped that rim off. Now is when you're going to want to use your cleaning rod. Now you're going to beat that case out of the chamber. And you can do that just simply by dropping the rod down the barrel. Now you'll see, hold on, let me get it down in there. So you can see the rod down in the receiver area. Okay, but if there was a case in there, it would stop about there. So about that much rod would be sticking out. So I still have the ability to tap the case. In my experience, just get a run at it and just fling that rod down the barrel, and that'll usually get the case out. All right? So that's how we would get seriously stuck cases out of chambers back in the day. But this type of a cleaning kit would not fit in the stock of an M4 type rifle because it doesn't have a trapdoor back here. All right? So during the global war on terror, I saw images of soldiers taking their old cleaning rod pieces like this and then ranger banding them to their quad rails so they would have the rod sections already there. Then they could just, pick them out and clear a stuck case, right? So that's just kind of one thing I saw some of the soldiers doing because they lost the trap door and the storage compartment in the buttstock. Other soldiers will tell you, and this is fairly common, these cleaning kits, well, in my day, would be in a little triangular shaped green bag. Today, you'll find them in little square green nylon bags. These are issued to soldiers. You can stick that into your vest where it's readily available. You can get to it probably as quickly, if not more quickly, than getting it out of the buttstock. All right, so you can pull that out, and then you can assemble your rods and knock that stuck case out of the chamber if you need to. But a stuck case that has the rim ripped off is fairly rare, but it does happen. Again, I've had that happen to me many times. But what are you going to do if you don't want to carry that green nylon pouch with a cleaning kit in it? What other options are available for the M4? I'm glad you asked that question. This is something from Samson Manufacturing. Now, this is a SOP mod stock. And the SOP mod stocks, this is from B5 Systems, they have crayon storage, battery storage, they'll say. Over here on the sides, there's two little tubes on either side of the stock. And you can take the tubes out, and you can use them to store various materials, all right? Now, on the front of this particular B5 stock, the cap is teardrop shaped. So when it's over the buffer tube, you can't turn the cap to unlock it to slide the compartment out of the stock. So this gets a little bit time consuming. You can extend the stock all the way, grab the release, pull the stock off, rotate the cap, pull this out. Inside here, I have a smaller version, more segments of the larger mil-spec cleaning kit. All right, this is the Samson cleaning kit. Now these, again, are designed to work in these stocks. All right, and now you can assemble all these little pieces and get enough of a rod together where, and you don't have to completely screw them together. You just got to get the sections where they stay together. So just a couple of quick threads until you get it long enough to where you can run it down the barrel and knock a stuck case out. Now, if somebody's shooting at you, yes, I understand. This is less than ideal, okay? This is not your best possible option, but that will get you enough segment links to run that down the barrel to get the case unstuck. So now, when you get the case knocked out, you can go back to shooting your rifle like this in an emergency, but you will need to put your stock back on, which isn't super time consuming, as I struggle to get it on, which isn't super time consuming, but it's less than ideal. But that's a great way to store a cleaning kit in your M4. For a stuck case, it might not be ideal. You might seek out other options, but at least as for using it as a cleaning kit, it makes a lot of sense because time isn't really a concern in how quickly you can get the kit out and get it back put together and whatnot, clean the rifle and put it back. Time isn't a concern. It's only a concern if you're in some sort of a gunfight and your gun goes down with a hard malfunction like a stuck case in the chamber. All right, so what else is out there? What else can you do? We talked about the mortaring thing. Some folks might not like to mortar their rifles, or maybe you're in an environment where mortaring it isn't practical. I mean, the ground's everywhere, but who knows? There are other options, and let's talk about that other option next with the Lev AR. So let's take a look at the Lev AR, Lev AR. This is the device here. This was developed by a military veteran, if I recall correctly, and then the rights were sold to Springfield, who is now manufacturing the device. It's a very simple device, and it solves one of the problems we've discussed out here today, but does not solve all the problems, and is therefore, by itself, not a single solution to resolve all the problems that we've addressed in today's video, but it does do something that's very cool, and it's not bad to have on the rifle. So how do you use it? Well, first of all, let's talk about what it is. So it's a standard T-handle that replaces the existing T-handle you may have, but it has a little button over here, and when you depress the button, you'll be able to swing this little lever over like that, and it'll lock in that position. It's textured right here, so it's meant to hook your finger around. And then when you pull rearward on it, it's going to release the latch. See where it releases the latch? And then it's going to cam this surface forward that is going to act upon the rear of the receiver right here, where the T-handle sets, and it's going to give you a mechanical advantage to pull that T-handle to the rear of the bolt and carrier with it in a stuck case that still has its rim on it that's in the chamber. So let's take a look at how this works. To install it, very simple. You're just going to do a quick field strip and replace your T-handle. All right, so now it's in there. And so it's a little bit blocky. It's big. Who knows? Maybe it'll direct gases the other direction too if you use a suppressor on your rifle. Seems like that's pretty much the same concept as the gas-busting charging handles. But anyway, so it operates as a standard charging handle. But when you need it to unstick a case, well, let's stick a case. Here we have a slightly deformed piece of brass. We'll stick it in there. Hopefully we can get it to stick again. If I can quit dropping it. Oof, that's really stuck. All right, well, check that out. All right, so that's really stuck in there, right? So here it is. Now, we talked about the mortaring. Mortaring would probably work here as well. This is a solution that is very similar to mortaring the rifle. It's just going to, instead of banging the rifle on the ground, you're going to use mechanical advantage to unstick the case. So I push the button, flip this lever around, and then you see how it bites. I'm going to pull it rearward. See how it's moving the bolt rearward, and it got the case out. So again, that works great until that rim gets ripped off, which does happen. Then the Lev AR isn't going to help you. The only thing that will is a cleaning rod down the barrel. Now, in today's video, we've talked about if the gun goes down, how you can clear the chamber using the cleaning kits and things like that. There's two more things I want to talk about. First of all, how to get a case that has separated, where the head has come off and left a piece of brass in the chamber. How do you get that out? And then just simply talking about if you're in a civilian world and your rifle goes down, you might want to have a backup gun, like a handgun. That's what they're for, just in case, because you might not have enough time to take your cleaning kit out, assemble your rod, and bang a stuck case out of the chamber. Now, doesn't happen all the time, and it'd be really bad luck if it did happen, where especially you got your case head, or the rim ripped off the case head, but it does happen. So, handgun, important. Now, you don't see handguns being issued all that often in the military, just in standard infantry units. That's because you have a squad, a platoon, a company behind you. So if you get into a gunfight and one soldier's weapon goes down, the other soldiers can provide covering fire while they get that weapon back up and running. I saw a video not long ago of a fight in Ukraine where that exact situation played out. A guy had a gun go down hard, case was stuck in the chamber, he couldn't get it out. It looked like the rim was perhaps ripped off, and he was running around the trench looking for a cleaning rod to clear the weapon. And his compadres there gave him a rod, but also gave him covering fire to get his weapon up and running. And so that's kind of that scenario. So always make sure that you have a backup weapon, especially in the civilian world, because if that rifle goes down, you're going to want to have a handgun. The other thing that we talked about is cases that separate, where the head comes off, leaving the body in the chamber. That's a really nasty one. And I see people struggling with this. You know, they want to go buy special purpose case extractors and things like that. It's not necessary, especially with the M16. I've had that happen several times in my life. And the easiest way to get it out is to use your cleaning kit once again. This chamber brush is all you need to get a stuck piece of brass out of the chamber. Take your rod, put 2 segments together, put your cleaning brush, your chamber brush on here, and then cram it into the chamber. It will go into the brass case. I don't have a split case I can show you. I usually have one out here somewhere, but it will go into the case. So the chamber is smaller diameter than the brush already. When you have brass in the chamber, it's even more constricted, right? So it's even a tighter fit for this brush. So when you force it in there, the brush, these copper bristles are going to deform. They're going to grab that brass, and you just pull it out, and it comes out surprisingly easy. Pull the brass off, and your chamber brush is back to being a chamber brush. Now, once you do have your weapon apart and you did have a stuck case that you did have to use this tool to get it out, you probably want to clean that chamber before you put your weapon back together and go to fighting if you have time. Because whatever's in that chamber that caused that case to stick might still be in there. That could be rust, it could be debris, it could be all sorts of things. So you might want to clean it out while you have the weapon apart if you have the time. All right, so again, the importance of a cleaning kit is pretty paramount. Get one. If you don't have one, get one. Either carry it in your backpack, carry it on your vest, carry it in your buttstock, pick up one of the new Samson manufacturing. That's not new. They've had it out for a little while. Pick up one of the Samson manufacturing mini kits. They'll go into a B5 system SOP mod stock, but have a cleaning kit on hand, folks. It's really, really important. If you have any questions about anything you've seen in today's video, you can ask those questions down below. Also, if you'd like to support us here on YouTube, in the age of demonetization, the best way to do that is to become part of our Patreon family. There is a link in the video description below. Also, right here on YouTube, you got the thanks and join button underneath the video player you're watching right now. Hit either one of those buttons, and you can support us right here on YouTube, again, in the age of demonetization. Thank you for 17 years of support. Swing by, check out Copper Custom. We'll talk to you guys soon.